Hello, it's Yahminah again. I hope you all are doing well. Today I wanted to do a video about the time that I met a few women from the country of Oman, and I cannot believe I closed my atlas. So the country of Oman is in the Middle East and it's in the continent of Asia. It is a predominantly Muslim country, and the most spoken language there is Arabic. Oh boy. Okay, here's the page. So, Oman is right there. So it's next to Yemen, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. So yeah, it's right there. So it's next to a lot of water, and it's a very small country, but I believe it has a lot of people anyway, because we know how countries are. They may be small, but they can have lots and lots of people. So anyway, I ended up meeting this lady from Oman because my last year of college, it was actually summertime after my last year of college. I was actually working on the campus as a residential helper assistant for people who were coming onto the campus for their own conferences and meetings that they were going to have on the campus, like it was a hotel instead of a college campus. So a lot of people were meeting there during the summertime, different groups, different people from different parts of the world. We even had people from Eritrea, and a few other countries. But yeah, she was from Oman, and she was, I forget which Muslim in particular, but because there's Sunni, Shiite, all those different types of Muslim. But I know I asked her, but anyway, she wore a head covering, and she wore very loose clothing. I don't remember if she wore pants, but she was very, very traditional, and she wore a head covering that was usually very pretty and feminine, but it was always like a solid block of cloth, and it would have maybe a print on it or something. And she was Arabic, and turns out that our names, and I mean Arab, not Arabic. She was Arab, and her language that she spoke was Arabic. And it turns out that my name Yahminah and her name Yusra were actually opposite names of each other. So my name means right and proper, and her name means left and left-sided. And my name is actually Hebrew and Arabic. I don't know if that's the same for her name as well. But over the years, I've met a lot of Arabic speaking people who would be very familiar with my name, really appreciate that I had my name. And then I met maybe two Hebrew speaking people who knew my name was Hebrew as well, and be really excited about that. But anyway, so Yusra and I got along really well, and we actually hung out on our off hours on campus when I wasn't at the Kingdom Hall, or she wasn't doing whatever she was doing, because she was dealing with a conference. She was actually teaching Arabic on the campus as well, and it was just for a summertime thing that they were doing. And she actually invited me to go to one of her classes one time, and so she was telling the students that our names were opposite of each other, so that was fun. But I did not understand anything, because I actually think that Arabic is like for me, one of the hardest languages to learn. I find it a little bit easier to learn languages that have alphabets similar to the English alphabet. So that's my fault. But anyway, it's still a beautiful language, and I happen to have like a little bit of music that's Arabic, and I know what they're talking about because I have the backstory to the music. Anyway, so she and I hung out. We would speak about religion. We would speak about her culture. I don't know if we spoke about my culture too much, but we would speak about her culture and like what they did for arranged marriages, what they considered beautiful in their country, um, and then just about like how widespread my religion was, because her religion was very, very dominant in her country, and I was telling her that my religion is all around the world as well. Um, anyway, so what was cool is that like we got along really well. She was very, very, very nice, and we actually stayed in touch when she left the campus. And it only lasted, I think it lasted for less than a year because somehow we fell out of touch even though we were just doing emails with each other. We just lost touch with each other, unfortunately. But turns out like maybe 2 or 3 years after I met her, I ended up finding out that there are not only Arab people in the country of Oman, there are actually people of African descent in Oman, black African descent. So a few years after she left, there was a big event here where I live, and there were women and men from Oman, and I and the men and women were actually going to be presenting artwork and actually doing a musical performance. And somehow I accidentally missed the music performance, but I did see the women on the facility afterwards, and it was so funny. I was wearing a very long peacock dress, and it had peacock decorations on it, and I had my hair up in a style kind of like this, and it was like short sleeve poof shoulders, um, and it kind of covered me the way this does, and I had a really long dress on, and had my hair up, had jewelry, had makeup on, probably less makeup than now. And me and the women, there was like 3 to 4 of them. Like, we made eye contact when we were passing each other, and I was like, oh my goodness, they look like me. I was like, they're so beautiful. They had like blue eyeshadow, like really bright eyeshadow. They had lipstick on because they had a head covering, and they had full like long sleeves on, a full body dress, whatever, kind of like me, but even more covered. And they had these, so like unlike Yusra had like a very solid piece of fabric that was either printed or was one solid color. With them, they actually had, I always consider it to be like tulle material, but it could be wrong. But it was very like airy, fluffy head coverings that they had on, very colorful, and it looked like, if I didn't know that they were from Oman, I would have thought they were from a different country than Yusra. But yeah, they were African, black Arabs. I forget the correct terminology, but black Arabs, African Arabs, Arabs of African descent. So that's what they were, and I did not know, like, in all these discussions that Yusra and I had previously, excuse me, we had never discussed that there were people who looked like me in her country, and I was kind of surprised about that. But oddly enough, I think I waved at the women, but oddly enough, I was by myself at this event, and for some reason I didn't actually go up and say hi to them. Maybe I felt a little nervous because there was like 4 of them and there was one of me, and I didn't want to be like judged or anything. But I felt slightly uncomfortable. If I would have had like one friend with me, I would have went up to them and said hi. But with me being by myself and they were just like looking at me, I didn't say anything other than like wave at them, and I was just like, wow, they were so pretty. It's so crazy that they like look like me, when I did not know that there were people who looked like me in the country of Oman. So that was really cool. But that's the end of my little story about meeting people, women from Oman. Okay, bye.